Section 3. You will hear a conversation between two students about studying abroad in Singapore. First, you have some time to read through questions 12 to 16. Now listen carefully and answer questions 12 to 16.
Hello, Laura. Do you have a minute?
Sure, John. What's up?
I've been considering enrolling in the study abroad program in Singapore for psychology that you completed last term, but I'm still unsure of some things.
What things in particular?
Well, I couldn't find much information on the application process. What was it like?
Actually, it was a bit too complicated. There are a lot of steps to complete.
I see. And what did you think about the lectures there?
They were excellent. I found all of them very informative and insightful.
And the lecturers themselves?
They are all experts in their areas. A few of them are even published authors, especially the professor of my psychometrics course. He was terrific. It was because of him that I chose the topic of psychometrics for my senior year thesis.
Oh, that sounds rather challenging.
Not at all. I was intimidated by the subject at first, but I didn't find it overly complicated as it was just an introductory course. I definitely recommend taking that one.
I see. Which other courses do you recommend?
I know that you're focusing your studies on counselling, so you should take the adult counselling course that is offered as well.
Yes, that would be good. Were there quite a lot of assignments or requirements for each class?
A fair amount, but instead of a long final paper, most of the classes I took concluded with a final test.
That sounds tough. Are there many differences between studying there and in the UK?
Definitely. The type of psychology they teach is very similar to statistics. Lots of numbers, data, and stuff like that. Far less of the theory and discussion we had in the UK, and more science-based work. So it's a different sort of challenge, but it appealed to me. That's why I chose psychometrics.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm actually hoping to take some data analysis courses if I take part in the program too. It would help with my minor in psycholinguistics.
Speaking of which, I have some information about data courses in Singapore. Let's head to...
You now have 15 seconds to check your answers.
Section 3. You will hear a student talking to a professor about a car technology competition. First, you have some time to read through questions 17 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 17 to 20.
Professor Brown, I'm hoping to participate in the National Car Technology Competition.
Certainly, Alice. The idea submission deadline is next Thursday, though. Do you already have an idea in mind?
Oh, I have a couple of ideas. One is for a biometric access system. This would allow only particular users to unlock, start, and drive the vehicle by using sensors.
Interesting idea. How would that work exactly?
Well, it would require the use of a scanner to access the vehicle and interior sensors to scan the eyes of drivers for retinal confirmation. Drivers would place a thumb on the outdoor scanner to unlock the vehicle, and the retinal sensor would allow them to turn on the ignition.
That might be complicated. Do you have any ideas on how that sensor might work?
I was thinking about embedding it in the rear-view mirror. The driver would simply look into the mirror, and the sensor would scan their retina. If the person is authorized to use the vehicle, the ignition would automatically turn on.
Sounds impressive. I think you should go ahead with that idea. Is there anything else you need help with?
Well, actually, the entrance fee is higher than I expected.
Oh, there actually is a sponsorship from the university that you may be eligible for, and as far as I know, you'll be able to do that. Then the cost of $200 for entering the competition would be lifted. And, of course, you'd be able to use materials for the project at our lab facilities. You can pick up a form to apply for the sponsorship at the academic office.
Excellent. And what is required for the application?
You'll first need to submit a proposal, no longer than 1 page, to the Dean of the Engineering College by this Wednesday. If he thinks your idea is intriguing enough, then he'll meet with you in person to discuss some additional details about it.
All right. I suppose I ought to get started on typing my proposal then.
Oh, and for your reference, the proposal must include a rough design or sketch of your idea. Otherwise, the Dean won't accept it. It's a very particular requirement, but it's because he prefers to look at papers with graphical information. The proposal can be structured as you like and in any file format, and you can list references any way you want as well.
That's exactly what I was going to inquire about next. Actually, would you have some time to meet either today or Tuesday to provide me with some guidance on how to draft the proposal?
Certainly. I'll be available at my office after 4 p.m. this Tuesday. See you then.
Great. I'll come by your office at 4:30 on Tuesday. Thanks.
You now have 15 seconds to check your answers.
Section 4. You will hear a lecture by a dietary expert about the ways in which people can reduce their sugar intake. First, you have some time to read through questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
So, as we discussed last time, sugar is the culprit for a variety of ailments. Not only is it an addictive substance, but it is a direct cause for diabetes, the rates of which have never been higher. In addition to that, it also contributes to heart disease, obesity, and mood disorders. And those health issues are also rising at an alarming rate. The problem is that people are consuming more sugar than we even realize. So, how can we reduce our intake and avoid a variety of health issues? Well, first, it is important to read through ingredients on manufactured products and be aware that sugar has different names: sucrose, glucose, and fructose, just to name a few. So when advising patients, it is naturally best to tell them to avoid products with added sugar and use sweeteners that are as natural as possible and stay away from processed sugar. Something like honey provides sweetness and is better for digestion than refined sugar, as it allows nutrients to be absorbed more easily. It also contains fewer empty calories than sugar. If the taste of honey is too diverse and processed sugar is preferred, then it is better to use it in its raw state, such as brown sugar, while common white table sugar should be eliminated. And it's also important to not drink sugars. People don't realize the enormous sugar content in a soft drink, and even fruit juices have a very high concentration of sugar as well as high caloric intake. Water, of course, is the #1 fluid we should consume. But I believe herbal teas are another great option because they give you some flavor and they can offer extra vitamins that are good for us. Another thing to avoid is manufactured food products that are labeled fat-free. Often, to make up for the flavor from missing fat, sugar is added. Just for one example, it is better to use real cream in your coffee rather than a fat-free substitute. And likewise, urge people to avoid products that are said to be sugar-free, as they usually contain chemical sugar substitutes which can actually be more harmful than processed sugar. Most dietary experts agree that the best thing people can do is get the sweetness they want through natural sources rather than sweets or sugarless alternatives with chemicals. Get it through fruits and vegetables above all. They are a much better source of natural sugar, and they also contain essential vitamins your body needs. That's the best way to get the sweetness your appetite may want. But you can also eat yogurt and whole wheat products.
You now have 15 seconds to check your answers.